Hello, greet you. Welcome to another one here on Truth and Love the Church. So we have a minister who was raised by Pa Elton, whose spiritual father was T.L. Osborne, and I'm talking about my grandfather in the Lord, Archbishop Benson Idahosa, who raised great ministers like Bishop Oyedepo, Archbishop Duncan Williams, Pastor Chris, Bishop Agina Sare, Dr. Robert Kayanja from Uganda, and Papa Ayo Orisejafo, and many other ministers. Even Apostle Johnson Suleiman also talks about Archbishop Idahosa's influence, that he also grew in his church. You know, he was part of the leadership in the youth ministry. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So there was this sermon that Apostle Arome taught on. It was a beautiful message, but there's something that he touched on when he said these words.
Once upon a time, a flame arose from this place that colonized the world. The Lord spoke to me, he said 25 years after the passing of Benson Idahosa, a generation that is capable of beginning to receive installments of that of the nation on his life will begin to rise in the territory. Let me tell you the truth. This man's mantle is not in the earth now, yet. So anybody that has said one or two things, they are lying. I speak as a watchman. The corruption that is on ground, it cannot be the foundation upon which everything like this can come down.
So you were saying that no one actually inherited the mantle, or you can say maybe the grace of the late great Archbishop Benson Idahosa. So we're going to be listening to what this minister has to say. Let's get into it.
There's one young man from Benue, I think that's his name. I don't want to call his name, who is supposedly heavily into prayer. I think he was in Benin City. I made a statement. I roared on my bed and said, the mantle of Archbishop Idahosa is in heaven. God told him. That's a lie. That is not God's nature to withhold. God does not withhold. The question why I reacted in Benin here and said, if any man tell you the mantle of Idahosa is with him, is a lie. God told him he's in heaven. What will God be doing with the mantle of Idahosa in heaven when there's crisis on earth, crisis in Russia, crisis in Nigeria, crisis in Ghana? I know where the mantle of Idahosa is. If you go to Canaan land, you will see the mantle of Idahosa. I know where the mantle of Idahosa is. When you see Pastor Chris Oyakilome, I see the mantle of Idahosa. I know where the mantle of Idahosa is. Go to Uganda, Robert Kayanja, the mantle of Idahosa is there. I know where the mantle of Idahosa is. Go to Ghana, Archbishop Duncan Williams, I know where the mantle of Idahosa is. At Jinasare in Ghana, I know where the mantle of Idahosa is. I know where the mantle of the Archbishop is. Distributed in different regions. I know where the mantle of Archbishop is. Can I tell you something? Some men of God are bitter, angry, wounded. You can see it in their administration. What is the mantle of Archbishop doing in heaven? That's not the nature of God. Can I say one more thing? Do you know why I brought up this matter? Can I tell you something? Jesus said, greater works. Now, don't allow anybody deceive you that what God did before cannot be done again in double dimension. That's the message. Can I tell you two characteristics of the mantle of Idahosa? Should I tell you? Number one is love. If you don't have love, that mantle cannot work. Because one of the things I saw as I studied the Archbishop Benson Idahosa was love. Is there any preacher who was wounded and hurt like the Archbishop? None. But yet, he was a quick forgiver. Two elements. You want God to use you. The mantle to fall heavily upon you. Three things must happen in your life. Number one, you must be a lover of people. Hear this. Without genuine compassion, the mantle cannot walk. The mantle cannot walk on a bitter pastor. A man of God that in 2 minutes ridicule the work of another man. You just make a mockery of somebody's labor. You can't flow in this mantle, sir. Papa comes to your church uninvited. Because when people are talking about the mantle of the Archbishop, I ask, which one are they talking about? The Archbishop was full of compassion and love. Even when people made mistakes, he didn't throw them out. It's from the Archbishop I heard that it's only in the kingdom that wounded soldiers are neglected. He said, but in the world, they are treated and prepared for more battle. I heard that from statement made by the Archbishop. So if you are looking for the mantle of the Archbishop, these are the requirements. You can't walk in unforgiveness, sir, and see the anointing flow. You can't. In bitterness, when some of these people talk, you see bitterness. As if to serve, it's a war. This one is of God. This one is not of God. God does not have referee. Then they say, man, you said you have withdrawn grace. Do you have grace? You know, when people make some statements that they don't have the authority to make, you withdraw grace. Haba.
So that's a very powerful educational message. And for those who don't understand our videos, listen, if you just look at the thumbnail, look at the title and you comment, I'm just gonna block you, because I'm getting tired of people who just send messages, whether it's to my Telegram, and they are saying things that, you know, they wouldn't have even listened to the video. The purpose of our videos are to educate. You know, we are educating you about some certain things that you really have to learn. We speak the truth in love. That's what you need to understand. All right. So I won't be controlled by people. The people that I'm really accountable to, when they tell me not to do something, that's when I don't. You understand? So I try to do everything in love. If you are a soft person and you can't stand the truth that we will be sharing, please, you can kindly not follow our channel. I will not be tolerating abuse anymore. So if you're a follower of the apostle and you are angry with me and all those things, ask yourself, why is it that all ministers, fathers are saying this is not the right way to go? All right? Follow him as he follows Christ. You as a follower, right? Just like Kenneth Hagin used to say, if you, just like an old cow, you eat the grass and you spit out the stones, you spit out the sticks. All right, you take from his messages that which makes you grow. But these things which spring out of emotions, things like attacking other ministers, please don't do so. I have seen it affecting a lot of people in ministry. Don't do so. And for those who say that I'm attacking, there are a lot of things I may post here which will cause a lot of horrible, terrible stuff, but I choose not to, because of love. So these things which I am posting here are for educational purposes. They are done respectfully. It's content that's already there on YouTube. You understand? So no one is attacking anybody. These statements that he is sharing on the pulpit, you have a lot of consequences that they can actually cause, because most of the youth, they listen to him. You understand? So some of these things we are telling you have to be heard. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Meet you in the next one as always.